Guys, we're going to take a ride in a vehicle that, if you ignore the name of it, could be any European luxury car. I kid you not. There are problems, but let's go for a ride. We're going to talk. Come on. Away we go. Now, why am I so interested in this car? I've owned 4 Mazdas in my life. And 4 Mazdas means that I'm a Mazda fanboy, right? Nope. I'm actually more critical of this brand than I would be some other car brands. And part of the reason why, by the way, if you look over here, I'm going to turn on the air conditioning system. This is really elegant, the way they designed this. Heated seats, simple controls, heated steering wheel. Now bear in mind, we're in the top of the line model, but we'll get to that in a minute. The important part of this car is driving, because it drives so smooth and it's got great power. 250 horsepower if you put premium in here, and we'll talk about the engine a little bit later as well. It's well sprung, so it's actually softer than any Mazda I've driven, yet it has all-wheel drive and a really good all-wheel drive system. Something that I consider far superior to any other car in its class. Is it a sports car? No. Sorry. That's the one big issue that I think a lot of people have with this car, is the fact that it's not the return of the Mazda Speed 3. Sorry. It is Mazda's attempt at building a compact car as luxuriously as possible, giving you as much content as they can provide. Heads-up display, a screen that's over 8 inches, large, which unfortunately is not a touch screen. Controls that are very similar to BMW, which I'm not thrilled with, but some people are. Leather-wrapped steering wheel, leather dash, leather seats, sunroof. An interior design that, as far as I'm concerned, is as good, if not better, than many extremely high-end competitors. I'm not saying that lightly. Let's punch it, shall we? Yeah. It's quick. 0 to 60 at sea level is quoted at being around 6 seconds. Up here, probably a little bit less. This is a vehicle that essentially is as quick as many sports sedans. I love it. I love driving this car, but I also have to get in through my head that this is not a Mazda Speed 3. It behaves completely differently. They benchmark Audi, they benchmark BMW, I guarantee it, especially if you look at the control layout. Fortunately, even though they have new tech and old tech mixed in this car, it feels new and it feels alive. It feels like it's on its tippy toes and it wants to run. And at the same time, on the highway, as we're cruising along, very serene place to be. It does have paddle shifters and they do work. If you're looking for a more sporty drive out of a Mazda 3, the only thing you can get would be the regular Mazda 3 hatchback with the manual transmission. It's the only way you can get the manual transmission. All right. Why did I want to start in the back? Well, aside from the fact that this rear design is absolutely elegant, and I love the dual exhausts that are real, I wanted to show you the trunk. It's small for the class, but it's not the smallest. It's about 13.2 cubic feet of space, and there is a spare tire, little donut, a little bit of room in here if you wanted to throw some extra knickknacks in there. Split folding rear seat, so it is a little bit more utilitarian. It actually is a tiny bit bigger than the Toyota Corolla sedan, but it's smaller than almost everybody else. That is what you get with this design, because if you look at this car, and I highly recommend cameramen look at the car, look at this, it's gorgeous, but you're paying a penalty for this beautiful design. And here's the penalty if you're tall. So, I'm 6'1", I don't care what anybody says, I really am 6'1" when I don't slouch. And I had the seat almost all the way back. Now, I'm going to attempt to get my large American ass in the back of this thing. Observe. Not very elegant for me. My head is hitting the roof, like a lot, and my legs are pretty cramped back here. Now I could probably ask the driver to move a little bit, but that's not the point. The point is the back seat's small. Let's move on to the pièce de résistance. I know how to pronounce it wrong, I'm not French. 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine that, when you use premium, will put out 250 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque. Thing is that you don't have to use premium. The big thing is transmission. 6-speed automatic. I know. What? Everybody else is like 8 or 9 or CVT. Mazda insists that this transmission with this engine is the best setup. The gear spacing is ideal. And, hey, I gotta say, highway MPG in this vehicle, 31 MPG. 31. That is pretty impressive. I've been averaging 24 because I drive like a monkey. What about price? Well, let's talk about that. Now remember, this vehicle comes with the iActive system, which is a predictive all-wheel drive setup, which is really, really good. It also has a very, very unique setup for suspension system and drive system, which is part of their G-vectoring control. G-vectoring control actually allows you, when you're going around a corner, better grip and better handling by taking a little bit of power out of one of the wheels when necessary to make you go through that corner as smooth as possible. Sounds weird, works well. So, this vehicle is priced at $34,015. That sounds like a lot of money for a car in this class, but look at all the tech you get for the money, and it's a Mazda, which means it's well screwed together. It's all put together in Japan. Really, really good car. Now, let's say you don't have the type of dough, but you want this car. You can get a front-wheel drive version, and there are a couple different types. The base Model 3 has a 2-liter engine, which is not turbocharged, and that puts out 155 horsepower. There's also the naturally aspirated 2.5 non-turbo that puts out 186 horsepower. So you can get those engines as well in the front-wheel drive model. If you want the turbo, you can only get it with all-wheel drive. That's how it works. I think for the money, this car's fantastic. I only wish that it had a little bit more space for a big slob like me, but if you think about it as an entry-level luxury car, oh man, this thing's got it. Thanks for joining me for the Fast Lane Car. This is Nathan. I'll see you next time.